So here goes try number two. The first video got taken down for violent and graphic content because it had a couple little clips from a bullfight that I specifically chose to not have violent or graphic content. And an example in their policy said you can have a cockfight and show the dead chickens as long as you give cultural context, which I felt like I gave cultural context. And all I had was a horse and bull running around in a circle and a guy slowly stepping towards a bull. But anyway, I appealed at least to hopefully get the mark off my channel, but I did just edit it out for simplicity. However, I put it in there because I thought it was really interesting and I figured most people would. Bullfighting in Portugal, especially in the south, is considered immaterial cultural heritage. Bullfighting in Portugal is unique in several aspects. Firstly, they don't kill the bull. There's two versions, one on horseback, which also includes female bullfighters, where they really show off the skills on a horse, and there's kind of a dressage element too. And the second version is called Forcado, where a group of young guys essentially wrestle the bull barehanded. It's pretty much just like a line of guys get accordioned into each other by the bull. It's really crazy to watch. You can just type into YouTube and there's plenty of videos without any context that show the full thing. The videos of them training the horses is also really interesting. There's like a hand cart with a fake bull on it that they drive around. Portuguese bullfighting really is its own rabbit hole to go down. There's also different styles in the Azores and other places, it sounds like. It is very interesting to watch with lots of formality and pageantry. So if you are interested in cultural stuff like that, I do recommend looking for videos because it is a very interesting cultural experience to see. I did have some issues with parts of it, but it's also not my culture. But anyway, if you were one of the 700 or so people that saw it before it got taken down, congratulations. And for everyone else, here's the original edited video. Hi everybody, sorry for not posting in a while. I was taking an intensive language class at the university and it was more intensive than I was expecting, so I didn't have much free time at all. And I also lost my residency card, which is quite a hassle to replace, so don't do that. But luckily somebody did find it and turn it into the police. It just took a while for that letter to come in the mail, so I'd already done a lot of the legwork to get it replaced because I was checking out what I thought was the main police station next to City Hall, but I guess it's not the main one because I had to go a couple times to one on the complete other side of town. But anyway, this video, it was going to be the wood staining, but since you might have heard there was a bunch of fires in central and northern Portugal. We had a few days of hot and really windy weather, so there's several big fires and we were at maximum fire danger, which I think they were saying like for Porto and northern Portugal it hadn't been that since 2001. There weren't any fires that close to here. There was one just outside Coimbra that I think they were able to put it out within a day, but it was super smoky here, and the air quality was very unhealthy, so I tried to limit time outside and all that. But luckily, as you can see, there's clouds now. It actually rained last night and I think there's more rain in the forecast for next week, so hopefully that should be able to, if not put the fires out, at least control them, and hopefully that'll be the end of fire danger for the year. Anyway, so I needed to clean up my yard since I'd kind of neglected that since the spring, and since we had kind of a cooler, wetter summer, it was pretty overgrown. So that's kind of the gist of this video. Plus, I know some people were curious about like a garden update, so there's a bit of that as well. I didn't really do too much. I haven't had really much of a garden since I didn't get back till late May, so it's kind of too late, already too dry to like start stuff and everything. I did try the snails ate since I wasn't around to kind of control the population when it was raining. And also I figured I'd include a little bit of what I've been up to in a little bit of free time between homework and studying that I did have, because there have been a lot of events right before the school year starts, so I know people like that, so I'll show a little bit of that as well. So the municipality is starting a compost program, and as part of that, they're giving out free composters. Also, this little bucket for the kitchen, and a bunch of guides and stuff how to compost. And since I really need to clean up the yard, I'm gonna set it up and probably fill it with all the blackberries and stuff. I chiseled out of the concrete in a area, so at least it's kind of some dirt to be sitting on instead of just concrete. These are the directions, so hopefully I can figure it out. Doesn't look too hard. It actually all snapped together very easily, so I probably didn't actually need the time lapse. And I did end up rotating it so I'd have access to both of the doors at the bottom. So now to put this old compost pile into the new box and clean up all this. So these are some physalis that I started from seed. This one already has some buds on it. It's kind of like a sweet tomatillo. I think ground cherry is another name. And this is a tamarillo that I also started from seed. I bought one at the store because I'd never had it, so I wanted to try it. To be honest, I didn't like it that much, but I don't think it was all the way ripe. But I've seen people with them in their yards and they look cool, so I figured I'd try growing it. I have a few more little ones here that I need to put in bigger pots. And also this little heath plant, kind of impulse buy, is like $2 at Lidl. But unfortunately I think it already died in the heat, so I guess I'll see if it comes back at all. This is the only tomato I grew. Actually grew it from seeds from some sun-dried tomatoes. I think they'll ripen all at once. The grapevine did really well for pretty much zero maintenance. I think I watered it maybe once, but it still made a lot of grapes, and I got probably around 4 liters of juice, which turns out is very difficult to strain, and now I know why people just make wine and let nature take care of it. The rose also doing really well in the heat, also with zero maintenance. This snapdragon I got is probably a little sprig about like that, from the sidewalk at the Queenborough B train station, and it's doing really well. It's really big now, and the flowers are edible. They don't really taste like anything, but they're fun to put in salad. All this is sow thistle. It's a weed, more or less, but it's essentially a type of wild salad. When it's younger, I always add some of the leaves to salad. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals, so I don't mind it being a weed. But these definitely bolted and went to seed, so I'll take them out and put them in the compost. And my other lettuces are starting to go to seed, especially that one. I don't eat enough salad to keep up with them. And this is a cantaloupe. I feel like it probably started it too late, but it does have one little cantaloupe. I'm not sure if it'll be ready by the time it gets cold, though. Another one of these came up from seed, so that's cool. And as you can see, the lemongrass has been just took over everything. And I have my banana in here. Came back from a very sad state when I came back in May. And this dead nettle is doing really well. I really like how it kind of like spilled over the side of the wall. It usually has a bunch of flowers on it that the bees really like. And the leaves also make a good herbal tea. Here's another lettuce that had some really interesting frilly leaves. I'm just letting it go to seed so I can get more of it. All these I started from seed, but I still have a lot, so I don't really need them to go to seed. Some basil starting to flower. Some of the same sun-dried tomatoes, whatever variety that is starting to flower. I planted them all at the same time, but these two stayed kind of small. And then there's a couple cilantros that survived that went to seed pretty fast. So I'll have a little bit of coriander. And it turns out cilantro is actually like a cold weather plant, so that'll be for the fall garden. And I did plant a few little beet starts, probably too early because it's still really dry. And some green onions that I just, from the store, that I just planted the bottoms, doing very well. My strawberries did die over the winter. I think they got flooded because these pots don't have drainage, which is normally not a problem, but since I was gone, I couldn't empty it. And I did learn if you have weeds in your driveway or something, you don't need to use Roundup or anything like that. Just some plain boiling water worked really well. And there's this kale that's doing really well. This is the typical kind in Portugal. Galego, I think, is the variety. Normally it's taller and straight, but it kind of grew wonky in winter. And I have a few others. And I did try zucchini. This was the only one that survived, and that's all it did. So I pulled up this old leek and realized it was starting to grow again, so I planted it back. And the seed head has some seeds, so I'll save those. And as far as events, the biggest was definitely the Feira do Ano in Montmoro Velho. It's kind of like a small state fair. Maybe a county fair would be more accurate. but there's lots of booths of local businesses and stuff like that, and demonstrations of traditional styles of crafts like this linen making, and making some local pastries like these pastel de Tintugual. Each night is dedicated to the different towns in the county, so I think this night must have been Tintugual's. Also a kids play area. And some local breeds of livestock. I liked the horns on these, but apparently they're a breed from the mountains that has exceptional marbling in the beef and very strong for labor purposes. You can also buy everything from motorcycles, cars, any type of farm equipment. And I think my favorite is that you can buy a full-size combine. However, it did not have a price on it, which means it's very expensive. Another highlight is getting fresh hot arroz tos, which is a regional rice dessert that is even better when it's just made. Also lots of food and socializing, and concerts every night with the unique backdrop of a giant medieval castle. I had seen Dillas at Kema and really liked him, so I came to the concert even though it was a school night for me.
Mais uma. Eu vou pensar nela, ai, 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 ai. Só mais copo, bebemos só mais copo e deixamos.
And I also went to the Nuno Ribeiro concert. Mainly just because that's who was playing that night.
Até o fundo eu quero ouvir rosa. Deixa-me dar a rosa. Muito amor, vocês são os maiores.
But it turned out to be a lot of fun, and I don't think I've ever seen an artist be so excited and have so much fun at his own concert.
Eu quero ouvir sai, a Maria, Maria, Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. Será que encontramos a Maria Joana esta noite aqui em Montemor ou não? Maria Joana.
like everything in Portugal, the party ends with DJs going late into the night. And there was even a 90s night. And coinciding with the end of classes was a craft beer festival. A bunch of us from class went, and it was a lot of fun. There's live music, over 200 types of beer and cider, and no hipsters. There was also the Parkour World Cup, which I didn't even know was a thing, but was a lot of fun to watch, and a lot of countries present. What might actually be most impressive is that they're doing all this in 95-degree heat, 35 Celsius.
Come on, everybody, let's make some noise for both of them. Taking the win!
And if you're curious, USA won women's freestyle. And Italy dominated the men's speed competition. And then the fire started and everything got smoky. And this wasn't even one of the worst days because you can still see blue sky. So that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Ciao.